Where is life's greatest adventure? Is it on the big screen in fantasy and movie magic? Is it on mountaintops and distant landscapes? Or is it found with ordinary people living in quiet obedience to their almighty creator? My name is Danny. I am a storyteller. My story begins 6 decades ago with my grandparents on both sides. In faith, they left the security of their lives in the Netherlands and followed God's call as independent faith missionaries, bringing the good news of Jesus to unreached places. I grew up surrounded by stories of miraculous provision and divine protection, stories that sounded like Hollywood. But these stories were true. So I kept asking, where is life's greatest adventure? When I was 18, travelling Europe alone, I had 2 mountaintop experiences that shaped me. The first was on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. Clouds hung at eye level, the valley below looked small and distant, dwarfed by the cliffs. Standing there, I felt the immeasurable greatness of God's power displayed in the grandeur of His creation. I felt so very small. In that moment, I understood a powerful truth. The Father of Glory chooses to dwell in His small, ordinary children. It blew my mind and filled me with hope and purpose. A few days later, in the Austrian Alps, I stood on another summit. Peaks stretched endlessly in every direction. It was breathtaking. But something profound was missing. I realized that this time, regardless of God's peace within me, I was alone upon that mountaintop. I had no one else to share the wonder with, and that's when it became clear. God's greatest adventure is found within the vibrant community of God's people. Now I'm 25, working with Operation Mobilization as a video editor, telling stories of lives transformed when they encountered Jesus. Stories of hope breaking into hard places. Stories of courage where following Christ costs everything. Stories of quiet faithfulness the world may never notice, but heaven does. Together, with an international team, we capture what God is doing and share it with churches and believers around the world. These stories travel where missionaries cannot always go. They stir hearts, they mobilize prayer, they inspire generosity, they help raise up the next generation of gospel workers. The gospel of Jesus Christ is more compelling than any Hollywood masterpiece. When He changes a life, it becomes the greatest story ever told. So, I invite you to join me on this journey. I cannot tell these stories alone. Partner with me in this work. Pray for creativity, clarity, and endurance as we carry these stories. Pray for open hearts as they are shared. And if you feel led, consider supporting this ministry. Together, we can tell stories that point to Jesus and help place Jesus' followers within reach of every person in the world. Let's amplify what God is already doing. Be part of the greatest adventure. Let's shout these stories from the mountaintops.